Hey everybody, welcome back. I'm Ken Davis. This is Long Game Yoga. This flow is going to focus on the outer hips, right? So out here, these are the abductors, the stuff that moves the leg this way, but also more importantly, some of the muscles that really help to stabilize everything, right? It keeps us walking, it keeps us running, it keeps us cycling. These muscles can sometimes feel a little neglected because, you know, if you're a runner and a cyclist, there's a lot of stuff we do which is like dun 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 with the legs. So it's a lot of the quads, it's a lot of the hamstrings, but we also want to keep a sense of balance. So we want to strengthen the outer bit of the hips. That's what we're going to focus on this flow. Should be about 20 minutes-ish, something like that. Let's get started on our backs. And let's just lie flat. I've got some blocks handy, you might not need them. I've got a strap handy, you might not need that. If you have them, great. Otherwise, let's just come down onto our backs. And at first, you can just relax, right? So this is the easy part. Just get to lie down. This is why we love yoga. It's easy, right? So we're just lying flat. We'll take a breath or two just to get focused, come into the practice. And with a lot of the flows that I have here on the channel, it's really up to you. You know, if you want to do some kind of pre-video, just relaxation, I recommend it. You know, taking a couple minutes just to come into that point of focus can be really useful before you start. So you can always pause the video and just do that as long as it feels good. Try not to fall asleep. Deep breath in, deep breath out. Really just let the lungs fill up. As we move through the practice, we're going to be moving through postures, but we also want to be focusing on the breath. The longer, deeper we can keep the breath as we move through our flow, the more it's going to give us those more subtle benefits of our practice. It's good for the body and the physiology to be breathing deeply like that, so let's try it. So let's take one more round of breath. And then we're just going to come into our reclined mountain pose. So what that means is we want to straighten the legs, we want to point the toes up to the ceiling so the ankles are flexed. Push the big toe mounds forward. Peel the pinky toe side edge of the foot back a little bit. And then press the heels into the mat. Press the thighs down towards the mat. Kneecaps are going to pull up to the hips. I'm going to point my tailbone to the heels a little bit. And so this position is really as though I were standing on that wall in front of me, except I'm lying down. So we're going to take one more round of breath, and then let's lift the hands up. The palms can face one another. We're going to reach the arms up and overhead, keeping that same alignment in the body. And then I'm going to walk my heels over to the right. And then I'm going to lift my shoulders and bring those over to the right too. So coming into like this, you can think of it as like a crescent shape or a banana shape. So I'm getting this nice stretch on the outer side of the body. So I feel it on the outside of the ribs, but the outside of the hips, which is what we're targeting. So you can stay here, or maybe you could hop that left ankle across the right. Maybe grab your left wrist with your right hand. Give that a real gentle tug. If you feel any discomfort in your back or your SI joint, which is down here, just ease off a little bit. I like to say that in all the videos. If there's something that's not working for you, if you're dealing with any little chronic injuries, definitely skip things. Modify it, dial it back. I don't want anybody coming out of these videos feeling worse than they came into them. So it's really up to you to just find that dial and use it. Let's keep breathing into this. We'll take one more round of breath on this nice side stretch. And then we'll come back through center. So we'll find that reclined mountain pose again. So hands just down by the sides, palms are up at the ceiling. Get that nice alignment. We're pressing the heels down, pointing the tailbone to the heels. And then we'll do it again. We'll lift the arms up, reach them up and overhead. This time I'm walking my feet over to the left, lifting the shoulders, bringing those over to the left as well, coming back down. I already feel this nice stretch on the outer hips. So I'm breathing into that. What does that mean, breathing into that? It means I'm inhaling. And as I exhale, I try and relax a little. I kind of bring my focus to where I feel the stretch most intensely. It's just a way of connecting with the body and where you're feeling the stretches. I'm going to go ahead and hop that right ankle over the left. That makes the stretch a little more intense. I'm going to grab my right wrist with my left hand to give it a gentle pull. Again, feeling that stretch along, this time it's the right side. Nice, and then we'll come back through center. Take a full body stretch, so really reach the fingertips, reach the feet, and then pull everything in. Come into this tight little ball shape, pulling the shins into the chest, maybe making some circles here. A little bonus back work for the flow this morning. Roll up and down the length of the spine, and then we're going to make our way up to our tabletop. So we want to come to tabletop. We want to bring our hands underneath our shoulders. Spread the fingers really wide here. These wrist creases should line up with the front edge of your mat. Shoulders are over the wrists, hips are over the knees, and then we're going to take some cat and cow rolls. So come through cow, drop the belly, lift the hips, pull the heart forward. So you're lifting the gaze up a little. You don't need to strain in the neck though. And then start to round into the back body. And just start flowing with your breath here, moving between these two easy, gentle poses, creating this nice wave shape in your spine. So if you really want to, you can think about trying to move one vertebrae at a time. Just waking up the torso for the practice, loosening up the spine, loosening up the muscles that line the spine. You know, those are important for keeping our posture in a good space when we're standing. So we do want to strengthen them. And cow feels really good. Like if you're a cyclist, like I am a cyclist, you know, we're more used to this cat shape as we hunch over our handlebars, but this is kind of what we need more. Right, we're stretching the front body, opening across the chest. We'll do one more cat. And then we'll come back to a tabletop here. And so what I want to do is I want to set up for a modified side plank here. So I'm going to kickstand my right foot off the mat, and then I'm going to bring my left foot so it lines up roughly with that right knee. So you can start with the hand on the hips right here. Right, so I'm pressing down with the right hand into the mat. If you want to go ahead and lift that left arm up to the ceiling, you can do that. And then from here, let's go ahead and lift that left leg up. And so what is lifting the left leg up? It's those outer hip muscles that we're targeting. So just push through the lifted heel. Keep that leg lifted. Keep the heel or the ankle flexed. Keep pushing through the heel. Nice. And then we'll set the foot down. We'll come back to our tabletop. It can feel nice to take one round of cow and cat in between sides. And then we'll do it on the other side. So I'll just turn around so you can see. I'm going to kickstand that left leg off. I'm going to plant that right foot down. This time it's the right arm that's reaching up. And here, you know, you don't want to necessarily sink the hips back, right? So we want to kind of push them forward. So we've got this nice alignment here from the outside edge of the foot, up the leg, through the ribs, crown of the head. You can stay here, or we're floating the right foot up. Pull the quad muscles to the bone. Really keep that lifted leg engaged. You know, the ankle is working here, everything. I'm pushing through. The heel. Keep the breath flowing. One more round of breath. Nice. Go ahead, lower the foot. Come back to tabletop. And then from here, let's come into our child's pose. So bring the big toes together, separate the knees a little bit. Bring the forehead down to the mat. If that doesn't work for your hips, and I know it doesn't work for everybody, you can leave the hips higher. You can sit back on your heels. Any of that is fine. We'll take a round of breath. Or a sip of tea. And then from here, if you're in child's pose, reach those arms forward. We're going to tuck the toes underneath, lift the hips up and back, finding our downward facing dog. So in down dog, I like to bend the legs deeply at first. So I feel like I'm getting more distance from my hands up to my sit bones, getting that spine nice and long, nice and straight, and then straighten into the legs. One move I really like to make is coming high up onto my toes, really. Pushing the hips up and back a little bit more, and then bringing the heels down. It just gives me a little better, deeper stretch in the hamstrings here. And then on our next inhale, let's roll forward to our plank. Building a little bit of chest strength here. And push the hips up and back. Let's do this a couple times. I just want to warm the shoulders up a little. So we're going to come forward to plank. Push back to down dog. And you can really think about doing this, just keeping the arms and legs perfectly straight, right? So my legs are straight, my arms are straight. Rock forward to plank. And then push up and back. Inhaling the hips up and back a little bit more. And then from here, we're going to look forward. We're going to step the right foot to the right thumb. Drop that back heel. Heel toe the front foot in so that the front heel is going to line up with that back inner arch. And then we're going to lift up to our warrior two, right? Very classic yoga pose that we find in most of our classes. I teach this in so many of my studio classes. Try and get the knee over the ankle, but then think about, on this right leg, pulling the knee out a little bit. So you can feel those outer hip muscles, there they are, engaging. And then on the back leg, so it'll be the left leg, pull the quad muscles to the bone. Try and keep the torso above the hips, just floating. We're not doing anything funky. We're just keeping the torso there. Arms are outstretched, shoulders are relaxed. You should be able to see your big toe on your right foot. If you can't, maybe your knees collapsing in a little. Use those outer hip muscles to pull it out. Then we're going to flip the right palm. We're going to inhale and reverse our warrior. So keep that nice deep lunge going on in the front leg. We're getting this nice stretch on the right side here. I feel that down in my hips. If I go whoop, just a little more, I can really feel it. Keep breathing. And then I'm going to straighten the right leg. So this is like a reverse triangle or trikonasana. Nice long stretch across the outer body here. And the left hand is just somewhere on the left leg. You can bring it to your back if that feels more comfortable. Legs are straight. And then we're going to find our regular triangle. So we're going to reach that right arm up and out. We've got all this nice length. And then bring the hand down. You could pop it on a block. You could bring your hand to the shin. You could bring your hand in front of the shin. And reach that left arm up. Both legs are nice and straight. And there is a twist here, right? So from the belly button to the sternum to the collarbones, I'm spiraling, opening up, moving that left shoulder back. And then here's another move you can try while you're here. Instead of the right hand on the leg, reach it forward. So the long edge of the mat that you're facing. So what this is doing is it's targeting the sides, the muscles all along the sides. So the obliques, which is here, but also the outer hip muscles. So keep breathing. We'll take one more round of breath. Nice. And then we can rebend that front leg. We're going to plant the hands, step back to plank. And then from here, we're going to roll to the side to a side plank. So here I'm stacking my feet, although you could stagger your feet like that, or you could step one leg halfway up the mat, depends on how much work you want to do. I'm going to stack and we're just going to play with this side plank. So here we don't want the hips to sink down. We want to keep them up, keep them straight. And again, we're getting into those outer hip muscles here. Keep breathing. Keep pushing the mat away from you. Keep reaching the left fingers to the ceiling. One more round of breath. And then we're coming out. And you can just push right back to your downward facing dog. Keep the breath flowing here. And then from here, let's look forward. Let's bring our feet to our hands. Inhale. Let's come into a halfway lift. So we want to bring a little bit of symmetry back into the body and the spine. So the spine is nice and straight here. And then exhale, we're folding all the way over. Push down, hinge at the hips. Rise, hands come to heart center. So before we do the other side, let's take a half sun. So inhale the arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Nice flat back again. Exhale, fold over. Root down through your feet. Hands come to heart center. So from here, let's inhale the arms up. Hinge and fold. Halfway lift. Let's step back to our down dog. Feel that nice stretch in down dog. Notice the difference between the right side and the left side. And then let's do those poses over on the left side. So when you're ready, look forward. We're stepping the left foot forward, pivoting and planting the right heel, getting front heel to back inner arch alignment, and then lifting the torso. This time we've got that nice deep bend in the left leg. So stacking the knee above the ankle. That's one of the things I like to emphasize because we do want to keep the ligaments in this knee from overstretching. I mean, we want range of motion, we do. But at the same time, when we're not really focused on that, we want to keep it in a nice, safe, neutral spot. So right above the ankle is a good spot for the knee. Back leg is strong. Arms come out to the side. Pull that left knee out a little bit. So I mean, I'm not moving it much. It's moving maybe an inch, maybe half an inch. But it's the engagement of those outer hip muscles that I'm feeling. That's kind of what we're after with this. And again, think about softening that area behind the neck. We don't need to be like vampires. I don't know why that makes me think of vampires, but it does. Gazing out traditionally over that middle finger of the left hand. One more round of breath. And then we're going to flip the left palm. And on the inhale, reverse the warrior. So getting, again, this nice stretch. This time it's across the left side of the body. Keep lunging down. Keep the back leg straight. You can drape that hand however you would like. Reach the fingers up a little higher. Nice. And then we'll straighten into the left leg. And we're in this reverse triangle. So I'm really reaching and stretching here. Getting this great stretch all the way down the left side. And then using all this length that we have, we're going to reach that left arm up and out and over, finding our triangle pose. So I like to bring the hand to the inside of that front leg, but the shin is fine too, or a block behind the leg is fine too. Right arm is lifted. Focusing just for a moment on the fact that the legs are engaged and we've got this nice twist. So it's like I could lean my right shoulder into a wall right behind me. And then we're going to do the same thing with the arm. So I'm just going to reach that arm forward. So now nothing's helping me out. It's all the sides. One more round of breath. Nice. We'll rebend that front leg. Frame the front foot. We're going to step back to plank. So finding our plank, bring the big toes together. We're rolling to the outside of the left foot this time for that side plank. So when you're ready, go ahead and reach that arm up. And again, you can do what you want with the feet. You can stack, stagger, step the foot up. Keep the breath flowing. Keep the spine straight. And notice all these little movements you're making as you stay balanced. Even the core is engaged on this one. But it's the side body that's holding this hip up, that's pushing this hip up. It's keeping everything in place. One more round of breath. And then hands hit the mat. We're going to come back to our downward facing dog. Take a nice stretch. Feel the left side of the body. Probably feels a little more open after having done that. And then look forward. We'll bring our feet to our hands. Inhale to a halfway lift again. So the spine should be straight enough that you can put a broomstick on it. Hands are just on the shins, not really pressing, just kind of resting there. And then fold all the way. On the inhale, press down through the feet, reach the arms up, hands come to heart center. Let's take one sun salutation here, just to bring everything back to the midline of the body. Inhale the arms up. Exhale to the forward fold. Inhale, nice flat back. Keep the flat back. We're stepping back. We're in our plank. I'm going to lower halfway down to catch myself, but you can lower all the way to the mat if you prefer. On the inhale, take your back bend. So this is up dog. My shoulders are over the wrists. I'm on the tops of the feet, palms of the hand. My knees aren't on the mat, they're up. And then exhale, up and back. Taking a round of breath. Coming back to the breath. And so in a longer class, these down dogs really become more of a rest stop. But even now, I mean, this is a pretty short, targeted flow. But this feels like a nice place just for a moment. If you want to drop your knees, come to a child's pose here, take a breather. It's a good spot for it. I do like to put moments, even in a short flow, of rest into the flow. It lets that heat that we're building up kind of spread through the body, that effort and that energy. It is nice to have those moments of like restoration in there, or rejuvenation, so that it's not all just, but you've got some moments where it's kind of spreading out. And then we're going to come back to our downward facing dog. Take a nice stretch here in down dog. Look forward, bring the feet to the hands. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold over, root down through your feet as you lift the torso. Hands come to heart center. So we're going to do a balance pose here. We're going to play around with our tree pose. I know probably most people are pretty familiar with it, but if you're not, you can just watch as we walk through this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick something to look at that's not moving. That dristi, as it's called, that point of focus can really help with the balance. And then we're going to start by standing on the left leg. So what I'm going to do is find this Tadasana. So everything's even, everything's balanced. And then I'm going to shift a little more weight into the left leg, and then I'm going to open the right knee to the side. And so you can bring the heel to the inner ankle, and this is tree pose. You don't need to go any further than this to get the benefits that we're after. If you want to play a little bit more with balance, you could bring your foot to the inner calf, maybe the inner knee, although we don't want to press too much laterally on the knee. Maybe to the thigh. And then the important thing here is on that left hip, pull it in so we're not sinking down into the hip. We're engaging the muscles. Again, we want to build strength around that joint, and this is helping with that. So this tree pose, you can keep your hands on your hip. Maybe bring your hands to heart center. Again, you're looking at something that's not moving. If you want to grow your tree, you can reach the arms up. I don't have a ton of room. The ceiling is a bit low, but I'll do what I can. And hands come to heart center. Square off the lifted leg. Maybe straighten the leg for a second. And then we'll pop it down. We'll take it to the other side. So if you want to shake out that standing ankle first, shake it all out, you can do that. And then we'll come to Tadasana. This time we're standing on the right leg, so it's the left leg that turns out. And again, you decide. Right here with the foot on the ground, this is a tree pose. And again, you can think about pulling that hip in. You get everything you need out of it. Otherwise, if you want to float the foot up somewhere, you can go ahead and do that. It's not really bonus points, but it's really about what's going to challenge you this morning. Because it is nice to kind of be right on that edge, right? And one of the reasons it's nice is because when you're at that edge, it's kind of all you're thinking about. So you're not thinking about what you have to do later, or what happened yesterday, or what your brother-in-law said, whatever it might be. We're just in the present moment. Nice. Then we'll go ahead, square off the lifted leg again, maybe give it a kick, bring that foot down. We'll come back to the top of the mat. We're almost done, I promise. So from here, we're going to inhale the arms up. Exhale, hinge and fold. Inhale, halfway lift. I'm going to take a vinyasa here. So if you want to join me, just plant the hands, step the feet back. Lower down either all the way or halfway. Inhale through your back bend. Exhale the hips up and back. Okay, so the last two moves we're going to do here before we start to chill. We're going to rock forward to plank, and we're going to come to side plank again. So bring the big toes together, roll to the outer edge of the right foot, back into side plank. This time, option to either lift the left leg. Those muscles are super engaged when I do that. Or you could even take that tree shape. Pushing the hips up, trying not to let them sink down. Keep the breath flowing here. Nice. And then we'll come back down. Boop. Hips come up and back. Nice long stretch in this down dog. And then we'll take that to the other side. So, modify this as you see fit. Again, we're just trying to engage those outer hip muscles. So, rocking forward to plank. Big toes together. This time I'm rolling to the outer edge of the left foot. Right arm lifts. Stay here. Maybe right leg lifts. Stay here. Maybe you find that tree shape with the leg. Again, moving around as normal. All these little adjustments are actually strengthening all the little muscles and all the big muscles, all the muscles. All right, when you're done, straighten the leg out. Back to down dog. Let's find our child's pose. So knees come down, big toes together. Maybe this time, leave your knees pressing against one another. Just drape the torso over the legs. Let everything relax. Take a deep breath. And then when you're ready to sit up, you can stay there as long as you want. But we're going to come down onto our seats. And I just want to give the outer hips a stretch before we finish off. So there's a whole bunch of different seated hip stretches we could do. Let's play around with fire log pose. So that's when we stack the shins and the calves. So my ankle's over the knee's over the ankle on the other foot, sitting up high on the tailbone. And right now, even before I go anywhere or do anything, I feel this nice stretch in the outer hips, which is, of course, what we've been playing with. So you can stay here with the torso lifted, or if you want, you can just walk your hands out in front of you a little bit. And as you hinge that torso forward, you might even take, a block or something for the elbows. As you hinge that torso forward, you're going to feel even more of a stretch in those outer hips. So again, coming back to this idea of breathing into the stretch, right? So I take an inhale, and then I lengthen the exhale. And as that breath is nice and long, it tells the muscles, it's okay, you can relax here. Because some part of it, I even feel it in myself, is just holding back, because the body knows, you don't want to just get into a deep stretch. You don't want to hurt yourself. So there's the brakes are on a little bit. But then as you breathe into it, you can relax a little bit more. Ease up on the brakes, get a little bit of a deeper stretch without hurting yourself. So take one more round of breath. And then just to get things nice and even both sides, let's switch the legs. So whatever leg is on top, we'll put that one on the bottom. And again, I've got the ankle over the knee. I've got the knee above the other ankle. Legs are one above another, sitting up nice and tall. And you could stay lifted, or again, you could start to lower down. Just going slowly. We're taking the intensity down. The hard work part is over. What we really want to do now is just let the benefits of that practice just kind of soak in to the muscles. I guess into the nervous system too, right? That idea of breathing into a stretch, that's, in some ways, I guess that really is manipulating the nervous system. Because part of your system is like, wait, but then you're sort of overriding that, being like, no, it's okay. So I think that's another one of the benefits we get out of our yoga practice. Beyond just, working the muscles, getting that lengthening and strengthening and the balancing around the joints, which is, the main thing that we're after here, certainly with these videos. But we also get the other benefits of just breathing and staying present. Okay, one more round of breath. Nice. And then we'll lift up. And then we're just going to finish on our backs. So you can make your way down onto your backs. Let's bend the legs. Let's plant the feet. Let's just finish with a side twist here. And what I'd like to do for this one is cross the right leg over the left. Then slide the hips over to the right and let the knees drop down to the left. I like to take a block and prop it under the knee. So my shoulder blades are on the mat. My right arm is extended out to the side. And here I feel like just another last teeny little stretch on that outer right hip. Again, a last little bit of working of those abductor muscles. Those outer hip muscles. We'll take one more round of breath. And then we'll come up through center, uncross the leg, recenter the hips on the mat. This time we're crossing the left leg over the right, scooting the hips off to the left, drop the knees down to the right, extend the left arm out to the side. If it's okay on your shoulder, if your shoulders get some commentary, you can always move your arm. Rest it somewhere that's comfortable. Just feeling that really nice passive stretch on the outer hip here. Alrighty, and then on your next inhale, we're going to lift the leg up, uncross the legs. Let's pull both knees into the chest, wrap the arms around the shins, give yourself a squeeze. Come into a tight little ball here. Again, maybe making some little circles. I always like to end that way. Rolling up and down the length of the spine. We're getting this nice bonus little back massage. And then you can go ahead, just straighten your legs out. And rest here as long as you like in your Shavasana, which is that ending part of our flow. You can stay here as long as you want. And then when you're ready, just, lift up carefully. You've been lying down for a while. You don't want to get lightheaded or anything. So this was really, again, we targeted that outer part of the hip. Myself as a runner and a cyclist, I also like to ruck a lot too. It's those bigger muscles that seem to take the brunt of the work and the effort, and they get strong. And it's not always as much the outer hip muscles or the inner thigh muscles. So we want to work on those, and that's part of the thing I'm doing with these 4 videos. So hopefully that worked for you. Again, if you like this flow and you want to see more like it, you can subscribe to the channel down below. If you have questions or comments, leave it in the comments below. And I'm glad to have seen you on the mat. Hope to see you again.